Hi beauties, today we're going to be discussing micro-grooming habits for women. These habits will primarily pertain to cleanliness, health, and just being neat looking overall. Most of which you would only do about once a week to every 2 weeks depending on your skin type, your preferences, and your routine. We will be going over every single micro-grooming habit that you should adapt starting from your head down to your toes. So just remember, like I said, these will be micro grooming habits. So no 10-step care routines, but just the little things that you can do to keep up with your daily routine for an extra polished look. So simple things that may be overlooked or forgotten, including how to properly clean your ears, your nose, and everything in between. All products and tools mentioned in this video will be linked in the description below, but be warned because once you start doing these things, you will never look at your self-care routine the same. If you have any favorite micro-grooming habits that you practice, share them in the comments below. Clean girls and chapstick girlies rejoice because this video is dedicated to you. If you would like to support this channel so that I can continue making videos like this one, you can join the Beauty and Beyond Patreon for only $5.99 a month, which allows you early access to videos like this one, as well as access to videos that are for patrons only. We also have a members page for my beauty queens here on YouTube that offers you similar perks and more. You can also join the Beauty and Beyond Discord that is for women only. Okay, it is also completely free, and there we have over 100, you guys, 100 successful and career-driven women from literally all over the world that love to talk about all things beauty and beyond. We have amazing, supportive, and just an overall interactive community. So definitely check it out. Shout out to all of you that's already in the Discord. Do me a favor and comment if you're in the Discord and if you're watching this. Okay, so with all of that out the way, let's get straight into this video. You guys are gonna like this one. Okay, so we're gonna start from the head and then go down to the toes. So we're gonna start with the hair, obviously. So the first thing I wanna talk about is dry shampoo. And dry shampoo can be used in between washing your hair. It helps with smell and reducing oil. And yes, black girls, you can use dry shampoo too. So the way you use dry shampoo is by dividing your hair into sections. You want to shake the canister before you apply it and make sure that you're holding it at least 10 to 12 inches away from your roots. And then you want to brush it out afterwards. So there are dry shampoos for light hair and for dark hair colors. Just make sure you get the one that matches your hair color so you don't look like you have lice. You can also use a blow dryer on it for a minute to get rid of the excess dry shampoo powder as well. But overall, like I said, it's really great for refreshing your blowout and kind of making it look a little bit brand new, especially after a couple of days. It also adds volume and helps with making your hair smell good and kind of fresh. So keep in mind that it could feel a little bit drying as it is meant to absorb oil, but it all depends on where exactly your problem areas are. But like, wash your hair too if it gets overly greasy. Like, obviously you don't want to be creating more and more buildup on your scalp with dry shampoo because you're like being lazy. At a certain point, we can all tell and we can all smell it. Okay. The second point is going to be wrapping your hair up at night. So this has been mentioned in some of my Beauty Around the World videos, but wearing a silk hair wrap can be worn at night as you sleep to prevent hair breakage and frizz by creating a protective barrier around your hair at night. You can either do this or get some satin pillows and sheets to achieve the same result. Like, you have to learn to treat your hair like a baby. You have to be super gentle and kind to it so it can be soft and hydrated and moisturized. Out of both options, I would say that using a bonnet or the silk scarf is a bit more hygienic just because you can get oil and dirt from the day all over your pillow, unless of course you wash your hair every night. But this dirt and buildup transfers onto your face while you're tossing and turning, and you can create breakouts this way. Also, if you have toxic fabrics like polyester or some other synthetic fabric, it can actually dry out your hair and tug at your hair while you toss and you turn. So it's just supposed to be beauty sleep, like let's keep it cute. But this way you can spend less time in the mornings trying to perfect your hair every day. Also, if you have a thicker or more coarse texture, I would actually recommend the Dominican Tubi wrap as well. So this is actually a net wrap that keeps your blowouts fresh and makes it so that you don't have to constantly put product in your hair to make it shiny and soft. And I actually prefer this over bonnets. I feel like they stay on better than a bonnet would. And it's just not as big and kind of in your face. That's just my personal preference though. But overall, if you do any of these things, you just wake up with gorgeous hair every day. And it only takes like a maximum of 15 minutes to wrap your hair before bed. So this is a great ritual to adopt. Next on this list for your hair is gonna be clipping your ends quarterly. Getting your ends clipped quarterly just makes for more of a neat look for your hair. It also makes your hair look fuller if you don't have any straight ends. So if you have thin hair especially, make sure your ends are clipped just because it makes your hair look more even and more full. Don't keep holding on to your straight ends. It's really not the flex that you think it is. I'm sorry. It looks damaged, it gives heat damaged, and we're not going for that look. We're not going for straight and frayed. So getting a hair trim can be super cheap, like $12 to $18, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing this yourself if you don't know how to, but like I said, it makes it look fuller, it makes it look shinier, and it's less prone to damage and breakage that way as well. In addition, regular cuts and treatments can help reduce elements that just continuously contribute to unhealthy hair. And like I said, quarterly, so even maybe about 2 to 4 times per year max. Some people only get their hair trimmed like once a year. It promotes growth anyway, so you'll be fine. Next on this list is going to be clarifying shampoo once every week or every 2 weeks. So there's a difference between your everyday shampoo and your clarifying shampoo. If you suffer from super dry hair and scalp, or you just notice that your hair is a little bit more straw-like than usual, make sure your everyday shampoo bottle doesn't say clarifying, because if it does, honey, you're sabotaging yourself. While both types of shampoos aim to clean your hair and scalp, clarifying shampoo is stronger and it is more effective, but it's more of like a deep clean. So this deep cleaning product is specifically formulated to nix product residue, dead skin cell buildup, and excess oil. It's basically like just a really super deep cleanse for your hair and your scalp. And I would use a deep conditioner after using a clarifying shampoo just to restore your hair of some of the nutrients that it's lost. But some people need clarifying shampoo twice a week because of super oily hair and scalp. But usually I would say once a week or once every 2 weeks is enough. And then use a regular shampoo in between if you wash your hair that often. So lastly, for the hair, when it comes to micro-grooming habits, is using a scalp scrub. So a scalp scrub once every week or 2 weeks to stimulate the scalp is great. It works wonders. This is going to work similarly to your clarifying shampoo, except it should have more of a grainy and exfoliating texture to it. Not only is this like super relaxing and therapeutic, but it's a great way for the pores on your scalp to get all that gunk out, especially if you tend to use a lot of product in your hair or if you have a very oily scalp. This also stimulates blood flow to the scalp, so it's really nice for promoting hair growth. Definitely use sparingly, once a week for my super oily girls, and then once every 2 or 3 weeks for those with a drier scalp. Personally, especially if you have a dry scalp, I wouldn't use a clarifying shampoo and a scalp scrub during the same time span. Okay, so moving on to the face, micro grooming habits for the face. What you want to do is get a pimple toolkit to remove whiteheads and blackheads. So listen, you're either going to be super grossed out by this imagery or this is going to be your form of ASMR. I'm somewhere in the middle, so I try not to get like the super gross images. But anyway, you know you're really about that clean life if you have the professional tools to do these types of things yourself. The only thing is you just have to know how to properly clean, use, and store them so you don't make the problems worse for yourself and damage your skin. So you can get a simple pimple popper kit for zits, acne, and blackheads and whiteheads, and you can use it on yourself. I think the most important thing to know here is knowing when a zit or a pimple is ready to be popped or extracted and when to leave it alone. In general, you can gently pop a whitehead pimple once, but don't try to extract more out again later. Like, don't keep going back to it because this is going to lead to scars. You don't want scars. You should also never pop a pimple that doesn't have a whitehead or is deep under the skin. You know, the ones that like really hurt. Another thing is that deep inflamed acne can also be due to nodular breakouts or cysts, and those should never be squeezed or popped. And I'll put some guides on the screen for reference so you can know what I'm talking about if you don't. But what you want to do first when you're using these types of product is you want to wash your hands first and wash around the area that you're about to like extract or whatever. So wash with warm water and a cleanser. You can also use an alcohol pad to disinfect the tool and the skin. That's pretty important. So you also want to soften the area around the skin. So apply a warm washcloth, a clean washcloth, to the pimple for a few minutes to soften the contents of your pores. Remember that warm water just opens the pores a little bit. So you also want to select the right tool. So choose the appropriate sized loop for the pimple that you're treating. For example, you can use like a wider loop for the larger or like more inflamed breakouts. And then when you start to extract, you want to place the loop around the pimple and apply gentle but firm, slow, and very even pressure to extract it. If nothing comes out, stop pressing and let it rest. Let it go. It's fine. If it bleeds, it's probably already empty or it wasn't ready to be popped in the first place. Lastly, what you want to do is use a tissue or something to clear away any extracted fluid or oil, and then wash your face again with cold water to shrink your pores. You can apply a moisturizer to reduce inflammation and redness or some type of topical, but make sure it's appropriate for use on broken skin specifically. Don't just put any old moisturizer on an open wound. But remember, warm water opens the pores and cold water tightens them. And don't get obsessed with doing this and using this pimple popper tool on yourself all of the time. Honestly, once a month should be fine. Don't do this weekly. And don't think that you can rush a pimple by trying to extract it. You're gonna make it worse. Leave it alone, girl. It's fine. You're fine. Next is going to be nose strips. Now, a lot of people think that nose strips are a scam. It depends, whatever floats your boat. But this is a great way to extract blackheads, but you're essentially just waxing your nose. So you definitely don't want to do this weekly or super often either, because repeatedly ripping the sebaceous filaments out can sometimes cause damage to your pores, which causes them to be larger over time anyway, which is not what you want. And the same goes with squeezing pimples, especially around your nose. It also doesn't work as a preventative. Nose strips work as a temporary change, so keep that in mind as well. Here and there, it's nice for a deep clean, but you don't have to be doing this every week. Maybe more once every 2 months, depending on how oily your face gets and how often you produce blackheads. So the next thing is really just a pro tip instead of a grooming habit. Since we're on the topic of acne and breakouts, don't cover your acne with makeup. It's not worth it. We're living in a time where tons of makeup isn't even as popular as it used to be anyway, so you'd be doing yourself a huge favor by not covering your acne with makeup. Get a little cute pimple patch or just treat your skin as necessary. You don't want to try to cover the problem with a quick fix and then make the problem worse than it already is. rather than just tending to the problem. And I promise you, you don't look like a monster. Acne is normal, and usually more times than not, it goes unnoticed or no one even cares until you mention it and make a big deal out of it and everything. The next micro grooming habit is going to be blotting papers. So these are great, especially for my oily skin girlies out there. Blotting papers, especially the ones that come in a little cute case that you can throw in your purse and use throughout the day. It helps with excess oil and overly shiny skin. Make sure you wash your hands before you touch your face with anything, okay? If you're at a makeup store and you're trying stuff on and you haven't washed your hands, or at least used hand sanitizer at the least, it's just not sanitary. So go to the bathroom, wash your hands, and then use your blotting paper. Not only will it keep you as matte as possible, but it will also prevent buildup in your pores, and it helps prevent acne that way, especially during super hot days. Okay, next on this list for micro grooming habits for your face, you want to use face masks. So use a hydrating or clarifying face mask once a week, depending on your skin type. If you are dry and flaky, you want to use a hydrating or moisturizing face mask. And if you are oily or you work out a lot and you're sweating and things like that, you may want to do a clarifying face mask to get rid of all the buildup and dirt that's inside of your pores, especially if you have larger pores. Hydrating and moisturizing face masks that have hyaluronic acid or collagen ingredients are good for dry skin. And for my oily skin girlies, you can do a clay mask or a charcoal mask. Okay, let's move on down to the eyebrows. So that's cleaning and shaping and cutting, sometimes plucking, and some women even learn to thread their own eyebrows, which is great as well. So cleaning up your eyebrows can help with excess oil and dirt buildup, especially if you're the type to break out around your forehead or even inside of your eyebrows. That hurts so much too. But well-shaped eyebrows can also make your eyes look bigger and give you a more youthful and revitalized look. It also removes dead skin cells and promotes blood circulation, which helps with healthier hair follicles. It also helps with product buildup. Also, it can help you prevent ingrown hairs. When you get that painful pimple in your eyebrow, most of the time it's just an ingrown. But washing your brows with a little gentle cleanser or even a actual brow shampoo, especially if you have thicker brows, can be really nice as well. You just need a little spoolie and you can gently wash your brows, and that stimulates the follicles and promotes growth, as well as healthier hair follicles in general, which also prevents ingrowns. And you can also get fuller and more defined brows this way as well. So we're gonna move on to the ears. I bet you didn't expect that one, huh? Or did you? I feel like I said that in the beginning. I don't know. But anyway, I love how having pretty ears is a big thing in China and other parts of the world. I feel like a lot of people overlook the ears, but we're gonna start off by saying, don't forget to clean in and around your ears, especially behind your ears, on a daily basis, because a lot of dirt and buildup, especially from your hair, can form there over time. So you want to clean the outside by using a warm, damp washcloth to gently clean the outside of your ear. You can also wash your ears with soap and water in the shower and then use a towel to dry and remove any wax. When it comes to removing earwax, if you have a buildup, you can try a couple of methods. So what you want to do is soften it with drops. So you can tilt your head and put a few drops of an over-the-counter eardrops into your ear, and then these drops usually contain hydrogen peroxide, saline, a little bit of baby oil, and other ingredients to help soften and break down your earwax. And after a couple of seconds, you'll tilt your head again and then rinse and drain your ear. The second option is to soak your ear with a cotton ball. So you want to soak a cotton ball in warm water mixed with saline, hydrogen peroxide, or mineral oil. You want to tilt your head so the opening of your ear is facing up and drip a few drops into your ear. You can hold your head in this position for about a minute and then tilt your head in the opposite direction to let the fluid and the wax drain out. You can also use a bulb syringe to swish out your ear as well. But what you don't want to do is use a cotton swab. You'll just push the wax back into your brain or something. I'm just kidding. But you never want to put foreign objects into your ears. Literally think about it. Even if it came from a pack, you don't know where it's been. And your ears are like super close to your brain, like how in Jimmy Neutron, they would go into his ears and his brain was like right there. Right. So don't put anything in your ears. That includes bobby pins or anything else that you think is cleaning your ears, but really is just causing damage to your skin and drying the skin around your ears. So we're gonna move on to the nose. And don't worry guys, it's just gonna get more gross as we go on. Same thing with your ears. You want to clean in and around your nose. Keep in mind, anything you inhale goes straight to your brain too. Same with your eyes, and if you keep stuff in your teeth, which we'll get to later. But nasal irrigation is the most effective way to clean your nose. So you can use like one of those nasal wash bottles or like a bulb syringe to rinse your sinuses with saline solution. So you'll basically fill whatever you're using with a saline solution. You don't want to use like hard water from your sink, but lean over your sink or over the tub and tilt your head to the side, and you slowly pour or squeeze the solution into your upper nostril, and then you breathe through your mouth, not through your nose, and just allow the solution to drain out of the other nostril, and repeat on the other side. And then you want to gently blow your nose into a tissue to clear out any mucus after that. So this will actually help with allowing you to sound more clear and less nasally, like someone in the comments said I sounded. And if it sounds like I'm screaming compared to my other videos, blame her. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, you guys. It's all right. But okay, moving on to your lips and your mouth. So lip scrubs and exfoliation is just a must, especially in my book. Maybe once every 3 weeks though, because the skin on your lips is really sensitive and delicate, and you don't want to make them raw. That will just lead to scarring and bleeding. Same thing if you leave them dry and crusty too. So you can make a little DIY exfoliator like I like to do with a little bit of honey and sugar and a little bit of salt, and gently exfoliate your lips with a warm towel, and definitely make sure to put your favorite moisturizer on after and daily, especially after brushing your teeth. Another thing is SPF chapstick, which I have mentioned on this channel before, is also really great because after you exfoliate anything on your body, you don't want to just expose it to the sun and have the UV rays raw dogging your freshly exfoliated lips. Like, that's working backwards. But definitely exfoliate the lips here and there for soft, plump, and really kissable lips. So from here, we're gonna move on to teeth and breath. And I'm gonna like make sure that I'm speaking really clearly so that y'all can hear me. Immediately share this video with someone you know who needs to watch this part, but like, you know, be nice and pretend that this isn't the part they need to know about. I'm totally kidding. But take a good close look at your teeth. And now take a closer look. That pale yellow in between your teeth or over top of your gums, it does not have to be there. Get rid of it. We all see it. Guys notice it, but who cares what they notice? But everybody can see it. It's not like acne where literally nobody cares, but girl, imagine torturing someone with your breath. That's like one of my biggest fears and my biggest pet peeves. Bad breath is definitely not a flex, no matter what you're doing or who you are. So firstly, you need to floss regularly. Don't think that you can get away with not flossing, because you can't. First of all, it promotes great teeth and great gum health, but it also helps with your stinky breath. Get up in there, like especially if you've eaten something like meat, because food sits in between your teeth that your toothbrush can't reach, and you have cow meat or apple pieces rotting in between your teeth, and you're torturing your coworkers. So just floss. It's okay. Once a day, that's all you have to do, preferably at night. You can also water floss. Water flossing is great. And it does look super ridiculous, but I'm sorry to say, like, you haven't reached adult status if you don't have a water flosser. Not to peer pressure you or anything, but a water flosser, also known as an oral irrigator or dental water jet, is a handled device that shoots a stream of pressurized water between the teeth and the gums to remove plaque, food particles, and bacteria. The water flosser's cleaner comes from a combination of water pressure and pulsations, which can be adjusted to suit your needs. And pulsating water is more effective than a steady stream for cleaning anyway. So some people actually say that water flossers are easier to use than traditional floss because they're less hands-on and it doesn't require as much technique. They can also be useful for people with dexterity limitations, as they generally have larger handles that are just way easier to grip. But for example, water flossers can be used to keep the area around dental implants clean, where plaque can cause inflammation on your gums. And water flossers that are designed for use with braces come with a special orthodontic tip to remove the plaque around the brackets and the wires. And no, I will say, a water flosser doesn't replace your toothbrush or traditional flossing. You still need to brush your teeth twice a day, but you can use the water flosser before or after brushing. So next is going to be using a plaque scraper, and this works wonders, and dentists don't hate me, but you can literally remove plaque from your teeth all by yourself. It's still good to get your cleaning, obviously, because dentists see and reach part of your teeth that you can't see, but get the plaque out of there, girl. We see it. It's right there. Go look. Now you can't unsee it, right? So just get it out. And trust me, if it's filling spaces in your teeth, the spaces look better. Here's my thing. I don't care what shape your teeth are. If they're not straight, if you have gaps, it doesn't matter. I think having clean and well-groomed teeth is miles and miles better than having straight teeth with plaque and stinky breath. And yes, this is personal for me, because please don't talk to me with bad breath. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have to suffer at the hands of your carelessness. Plus your brain, what about your brain? Okay, I know I'm being dramatic, but seriously, use it, especially if you can't get to a dentist. Just be very, very careful with the plaque scraper and take your time. Don't do it if you're gonna rush, because you can really hurt yourself really, really bad. Also, don't swallow the plaque. If you're going to be taking the tartar and the plaque off of your teeth with the scraper as well, make sure you brush your teeth and you spit it all out, because it's actually really bad for you. And that's why they use the little water and the suction thing when you're at the dentist, so you don't swallow all of that stuff. Okay, so next is a tongue scrubber. Yes, a tongue scrubber. Scrub your tongue, or at least brush your tongue. Oh, fun fact. Using a tongue scraper twice a day can actually improve your sense of taste. And by removing the bacteria, your taste buds can be able to better discriminate between bitter and sweet and salty and sour taste. So that's fun. You see, hygiene can make your food taste better and your breath smell cleaner. And we love that for us. Another thing is brushing your gums and skin behind the lips and under your tongue and the roof of your mouth. Is just so important. You don't just brush your teeth, you brush your whole inside of your mouth to prevent things like gingivitis. And then you use mouthwash, and then you're good to go. You've got fresh breath and squeaky clean teeth too. Don't forget, day and night. Friend, you're way too pretty not to brush your teeth twice a day. Plus, it helps you get that comfy feeling so you can go to bed easier. You can also do teeth whitening as a micro-grooming habit purely for aesthetic reasons, but you're only allowed to do that if you do everything else I mentioned, because I don't care how white your teeth are. If your breath reeks, sorry, I've got to tell it like it is on this one. You've got to take care of yourself and be mindful of the people around you. It's just not cool. Okay, we're gonna move on to the body, including those musty underarms, honey. But let's start off with the neck and the décolleté area. So one micro grooming tip I have for this area of the body is to definitely use sunscreen and moisturizer on your neck and your décolleté to prevent aging and sun damage. The skin on your neck is very, very delicate, and it's actually one of the first to show your age, including your hands and your feet. So always bring your skincare and your sunscreen down to your neck and your décolleté. And then I believe when you put moisturizer, especially firming moisturizers on your neck, you want to kind of move it upwards onto your neck. You kind of want to promote that flexibility within the skin and move the product upwards. So next for the body is going to be body exfoliation, and it's awesome because it actually removes dead skin and it gives you a nice glow, and not to mention it makes your skin baby smooth. And using a grainy textured exfoliator before shaving is the best. It makes shaving super easy and quick. Plus, have you ever used an exfoliator and shaved and then went to bed in silk bed sheets before? Yeah. It's literally heaven, and every woman should be able to experience that. Plus, if you have a guy, it works for him as well. They love soft skin, but do it for you, not for them, okay? This is not about them. Next is shaving, waxing, and plucking techniques. So if you have dry or sensitive skin, shaving may not be the best for you. You may have to pluck or wax your body hairs depending on your sensitivity, depending on your preference too. You don't have to do this, but just make sure you have a quality razor or quality wax that ensures the job gets done the right way. The great thing about waxing though is that every time your hair grows back, it grows back less and it grows back softer because you're getting the hair from the root instead of with shaving, you're kind of just cutting off the top layer. So that's why when it grows back super fast and really stubbly. But just experiment with what works for you. And especially if you like to shave your body hair or if you like to kind of have less hair on your body. So next is going to be dealing with body acne. Now you can use that toolkit that I mentioned earlier with ingrowns and things like that, or you can use products like the KP Bump Eraser by First Aid Beauty, which is actually a brand that caters to people with sensitive and acne prone skin. And no, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I do know that bacne and body acne can be frustrating, but waxing body hairs helps, and using exfoliators, not daily though, can also help as well. You can also use chemical exfoliants like salicylic acid or glycolic acid in the form of wipes or body serums to help reduce the appearance too. Oh, I know that brand Dr. Dennis Gross actually has those body exfoliation pads. And I know that they have the face pads that are really, really popular, and it ranges from sensitive skin to skin that isn't so sensitive. And I believe they have that range for the body too. But that's really good for body acne and even the strawberry skin if you deal with that as well. So next on this list is going to be sweat pads. Now this is for my girls that are a bit more sweaty than others, especially my hyperhidrosis girls or my paranoid perspirers. You are seen and you are heard. But sweat pads are a lifesaver. You should try them if you haven't already. That combined with antiperspirant deodorant is a lifesaver for many. And girl, we see you squeezing your arms against your body. And guess what? I still see the sweat stain too. And it's okay. Sometimes you just have to let yourself be, especially if you can't do anything about it. It's no big deal. It's one of those things that's just human, especially in really hot weather. As long as you're not, smelly and you're not torturing everyone around you with your odor, your sweat stains aren't really bothering anyone. But I know you don't like to wear dark clothes all the time and going through all of that. So get you a good pack of sweat pads and release yourself from the stress. But if you don't deal with this type of thing, it can also just be a little extra helpful in general, especially in hot weather. But overall, sweat should not be demonized. It should not make you feel insecure or less than anyone. I learned this being in the gym. Sweat stains are a good sign that your body is working and you're properly hydrated. But let's get into deodorant and how you need to use it, because please don't do that to me, especially in enclosed spaces. If your armpits stink, keep deodorant on you if you know you have that issue. I'm talking to you, natural deodorant girlies. We see you and we smell you. At least keep it on you with a few wipes, because your BO mixed with eucalyptus is not giving, honey. You may have gotten used to it, but we are all struggling to breathe. So please, always use deodorant every single day. Thank you. Next is underarm exfoliation. And if you've never heard of it, exfoliating your armpits helps to remove bacteria and sweat buildup. This also reduces the risk of unpleasant odors. So if you have excessive sweatiness going on, that can actually be really painful, actually. And armpit pimples, yes, those are a thing. They can hurt very bad. So exfoliating helps with that as well. Waxing also helps as well too when it comes to ingrowns and just chafing and pimples that can happen under there. Underarm exfoliation also enhances deodorant absorption, and if your underarms are a bit darker, you can exfoliate to help with that as well and brighten the area a bit more if that's what you like, if that's what makes you comfortable. So speaking of smells, we're going to get into good smells like body oils and smell goods. And we actually have a channel in the Discord where people are welcome to talk about their favorite smell goods and things like that, so definitely check that out. But as your body heats up, you actually emit these smells out into the air for everyone to inhale. And the best places to put perfume specifically are pulse points, which are just warm and moist areas of the body where the veins are close to the skin. And these are the areas that emit heat, which can help fragrance notes develop more quickly and last longer. Speaking of fragrance notes, you know how people put perfume on their wrists and then they go to rub it together? You're destroying the notes. So when you spray perfume, there's like top notes and bottom notes. So when you take your wrists and you rub them together, you're kind of just blending all the notes together and like changing the scent. So it's not a flex to do that. But besides that, the good places to place your fragrance is on your neck and right behind your ear for when you go to like hug someone, on your collarbones, your wrists, your inner elbows, your chest, your shoulder blades, the back of your neck, and on the inside of your knees actually. Body oils and smell goods before the gym are amazing. Have you ever had someone like walk past you and obviously they're sweaty and they're hot, but they still smell so good? That's because not only did they shower before coming to the gym, they put on their best body perfume so that you can have a little bit more hope for the world before you execute your reps. Okay, next is actually cleaning your belly button. Yep, your belly button. And this one is for the any girls out there. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Now, I don't know your business, and if anyone is down there smelling your belly button, honey, that's none of my business, but you just have to stay ready so you never have to get ready. But also, this goes for anyone as well, because your belly button is actually pretty sensitive. So make sure when you're cleaning in and around it, you're being gentle. Like if you're scrubbing too vigorously, you can irritate your skin and increase the risk of infection. But you want to clean your belly button with your body wash using like a Q-tip or just your wash rag, and rinse thoroughly with clean, warm water and dry with a towel to remove all of the water. But you can also use salt water if your belly button is particularly dirty. You can try massaging it with like a salt water solution to loosen all the germs in there. But this is a little DIY trick you can use by like mixing a teaspoon of table salt into a cup of warm water. But make sure you wash your belly button after sweating. It's especially important after sweating a lot, such as like exercising or in hot weather. Also, like avoid lotions and other skincare products because it can actually increase the risk of infection. So it's best to avoid them using around your belly button. Also, if you have a belly ring, clean it with alcohol or saline solution frequently. Like you can still get an infection if you've had your belly button piercing for years. I actually just took mine out, but I used to clean it all the time. Okay, so now we're gonna move lower, a little bit lower, to the cootie cat, the punani, the hoo-ha, whatever you want to call it. So the same rules for shaving or trimming and removing ingrowns in this sense is kind of similar to what I mentioned before. But let me tell you something. If the only time you shave is before meeting a guy, I'm gonna need you to get it together. We do this for us, for ourselves, for our own comfortability, not for a man's enjoyment, okay? And don't let him ever tell you what to do with your kitty cat, ever, never, okay? All right, so let's move on. Shaving is a really big thing for some people. I know that waxing is a luxury for some, and shaving is just a little bit more convenient. But I'm just gonna literally like read what I put in the Discord because a lot of this conversation is in the hygiene section of the Discord, and feel free to go there and share all of your favorite products and all of your favorite routines and whatever you do. But basically, you wanna exfoliate before you shave for an easier shave, and then you wanna exfoliate 24 to 48 hours after to prevent ingrowns. So get one of those exfoliation gloves like ASAP. This will like exfoliate your kitty cat area better than anything else will, and it will actually prevent ingrowns. And you'll want to use this like 48 hours after you shave. Now, if you do shave against the grain, which most people don't recommend, for that softer feel, just make sure that you're pulling your skin back so that it's not loose, and then press down with the blade very firmly, like with even pressure. You don't want to just nip the hairs. You want to get as deep as you can and pull from the root as much as possible. And after you're done shaving, run some cold water over it to close your pores back up. And then you can use like a thin layer of a very mild moisturizer on your bikini area, like Vaseline, and very lightly. Other than that, you can go get waxed. I know some girls who wax it themselves, and girl, I don't know how you do it, but if you do, tell us your secrets in the comments below, please. So next thing for your best friend downstairs is wearing panty liners. So this is a normal thing for me. I don't like to stain my underwear because I'm like a lingerie connoisseur, and I love collecting lingerie and wearing cute sets under my everyday clothes for myself. So I wear panty liners. This also helps if your pH may be off for any reason. It helps with smells and discharge, and it's normal, it happens, but you can wear a little panty liner. It just helps. And it also helps with sweating too. Also, lastly, what I would recommend is tracking your cycle. So to me, this is a micro grooming habit because you're keeping up with your normal everyday bodily functions and energy levels and smells. And there are just plenty of apps that keep up with this or can help you keep up with this. So it basically just tracks your discharge, your smells, it tracks your period, it tracks your mood swings. And if you're doing the do, you can track that as well because, some of these guys are throwing off your because they don't take care of themselves all the time in the way that you might take care of yourself. So consider that and make sure you're setting doctor's appointments with your gynecologist and wonderful, fun things like that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the hands. And I love this. I love hand and nail maintenance. But most importantly, and I really want you to listen closely when I say this, we're going to start off with how to properly wash your hands because there's been way too many times that I'm using the bathroom and a woman will just sprinkle her hands under the water or just flat out not wash her hands at all. And I'm just always appalled. There is a specific way that you wash your hands that actually promotes exfoliation and nail growth and nail strength. That just makes your hands look amazing. You don't even have to do much. Just wash them, please. First of all, it's ideal if you have antibacterial soap. Smell good soap is one thing, but antibacterial soap is elite. So what you want to do first is wet your hands. So you turn on the faucet and you use clean running water that's comfortable to you. You can use warm or hot water, but you want to wet your hands first. Then you go to apply the soap. Why don't apply soap on dry hands? Wet your hands first, apply the soap. And antibacterial soap is best, honestly. So then you want to lather your hands together, rub your hands together vigorously. So you're spending a good amount of time at the sink. You're not just, sprinkle and go. But you want to include the back of your hands, your wrists, your palms, your knuckles, between your fingernails, between your fingers, under your fingernails. I actually like to scrub my nails and my cuticles against my palm with the soap. It just feels so squeaky clean. And I know for a fact that this attributes to my nails being strong and really clean looking and my hands just being like super pretty overall. But scrub your hands for at least 25 seconds, 30 seconds. Sing the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star if you have to. I need everyone immediately to romanticize washing their hands. But after that, you want to rinse your hands well. And hear me out because I'm going to say something that you may not know of. But use a clean towel to dry your hands and your wrists. Or you can let them air dry. Do not use the blow dryer. Don't use it. It's disgusting. Boom. Bathroom particles all up in your face, all on your hands, all in the air. Stop. I don't even know why they exist. They're literally counterproductive. Plus, rubbing your hands with a dry paper towel also just helps remove germs and bacteria in general. So I really don't understand why those things still exist. But then you want to take your towel that you're using and then turn off the faucet. You don't want to wash your hands and then go to turn off the faucet with your bare hands. Because like I said, the person before you might have just sprinkle and left. And then they turned off the faucet with their dirty hands and now you're touching their business, right? Gross, right? But use the towel that you use to dry off your hands to turn off the faucet and then keep the towel. Don't throw it away yet because what you want to do is now you want to take the door handle and open the door with the towel, because usually the trash cans are by the door, so that you can just open that door, you hold it with your foot, and you toss that towel in the trash. Perfect. That's how you wash your hands. And don't just do this in public. Like, do this before you're preparing food and after using your personal bathroom. Like, if you don't do anything on this list, I don't even care if your breath stinks, girl. This is the number one way to wash your hands, and you should do it this way. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But, okay, getting back into the fun stuff. After you wash your hands, you can reward yourself with some amazing Smell Good hand cream with sunscreen, especially if you're going to be driving. And I know some girls even wear gloves while driving, and this is because your hands are directly in the sun when you're driving, shriveling up your skin and giving you sunspots, and now your hands are the most aged part of your body by default. Like, I bet you won't ever drive the same again after this. But lastly is basically just keeping hand sanitizer on deck at all times. It's just so feminine and girly pop, convenient queen things, and make sure it's majority alcohol. This is cool, especially when you're in a place without access to actually washing your hands, because that's always the better option. Moving on to nails. So getting more into the nails, cleaning under and around your nails is so important for obvious reasons. It promotes nail growth, but also, I don't know if you've ever seen a girl who you can tell she's taking care of her natural nails for a very long time, and she just wears them without polish, and her cuticles are amazing, and her hands look so pretty and dainty, and her nails are long and strong and healthy. Yeah, top tier in my book. I think this is a great option if you prefer that clean cut look. And I think it's kind of unique too, if it just shows that your self-care routine is something serious. Like, I'm not even being a chapstick girly about this. It's just top tier in my opinion. And it's a great option to get yourself a nail kit and to take care of your nails in this way, especially if you can't afford to, or if you just don't like spending money on your nails professionally every 2 weeks. So now I will mention my girlies who bite their nails. Hey girl, I know it's hard. You might have anxiety. You kind of get it past there. It may be calming. You know, you've done it since you were a wee lad, but you know, you already know. I'm going to address you, but we're not going to go into it because you already know. So let's move on. Cuticle oil is amazing for nail growth, and having healthy nail beds and cuticles just top tier as well. Clipping, shaping your nails, obviously. Just a pro tip, you kind of want to round out the edges of your nails, even if you do square round, just because it grows a lot stronger. And if you do have weak nails, like I know I have weaker nails just because I have an iron deficiency, but I like to shape my nails in like an oval shape, and they're so healthy and strong. But another pro tip is to use eye cream between like your pointer finger and your thumb, because eye cream is actually very hydrating and very moisturizing. And actually that's like one of the driest parts on your body, like between your pointer finger and your thumb. So if it tends to get really, really dry and cracked there, use an eye cream there. It's a really cool little hack. But also, like, if you're wearing your natural nails, you can always buff your nails for shine and then use a nail hardener to promote growth and, you know, have a little bit of a glow, have a little bit of shine on your nails as well. Okay, so we're gonna move on to your legs and thighs, and then lastly is feet. So I've already talked about shaving and exfoliation, so I want to include Nair here. But just to warn you, it smells like death, and it's definitely not good for sensitive skin. However, it is a quick way to get the hair off of your legs. So if you use Nair, give the girlies your tips, because this one is a bit tricky, and I don't know if I want to go into something that I've actually never used before. But besides that, anti-chafing products. Now, for the girls who like your thighs rub together a little bit, apply anti-chafing products to those areas, because like you already know, it's prone to friction and irritation. You know, you can get burns, it can get itchy, it can get sweaty, and girl, you can maintain that. So you don't have to suffer. Why do you deny yourself greatness? All right, we're gonna move on to feet. And actually, I'm just gonna read off of the post that I put in the Discord because there is a hygiene channel on the Discord too, like I said. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about feet. So nobody should be walking around with crusty feet this summer. So not having a foot routine obviously can get really nasty. But what you want to do is just, especially if you cannot pay to go to the nail salon every 2 weeks and you know you can't keep it up, you want to groom your toenails regularly. So I keep a nail kit in my vanity with everything I need. I can cut my toenails, I can file them. You want to get under your toenails too. Like sometimes when you shower, like the gunk from your socks or like dirt from the day doesn't get washed away. So you have to like get in there and get that stuff out because this can actually cause problems for you later on. Like you can get an infection from keeping that stuff in there. But even if you do get your nails done at the salon, when they pull out that cheese grater, don't let them use it on your feet. Don't let them use it. I know some people have already been using it for years and years and years now, but if you don't have like super rough feet, do not let them use it because when they shave the skin away on your feet, it grows back harder every single time. So you're gonna have to keep using it once you do start using it. You do not need to use it. Just gently exfoliate with a pumice stone, and it's just better than shaving the skin away at your foot. And sometimes they can use it like very aggressively. You also want to use foot masks. So this is a luxury, but for the girls who like to do a little bit of extra care and relaxation, you can use foot masks that you just slip your foot into. And I am one to promote regular nail polish. I know people love their gel polish. I love gel polish too. But I have, like I said, I have an iron deficiency. And for the girls who also have an iron deficiency, you know that when you use gel polish, your nails will crack and your toenails will like break shorter than what you actually want them to be. So use regular nail polish and wait for it to dry. And it lasts a very long time, you know? It's really not that bad. Also, stretching your toes is so important. Your toes can get really stiff and rigid, so you always want to flex your feet and flex your toes and stretch your toes and, you know, just show them some extra love like they're carrying you all day. Like, don't neglect them. But there are also foot spas where you can get those little fishes to like eat the dead skin off of your feet and stuff. And, you know, you can get foot massages to increase blood flow, which helps the skin. And one thing that's really been helping me with just foot health in general is like Pilates and cardio. It's just so nice to have very healthy, pretty feet. Also, use an antibacterial foot spray to keep the feet fresh and odor-free, girl. Some people have stinky feet. You know what I noticed? People with the smelliest feet love taking their shoes off in public for whatever reason. Why? Why must we be subjected to your personal body odors? I feel like we should be able to call the police. Am I right? Okay, so the video is over. This was actually kind of fun. I hope no one is offended. If I did offend anyone, I'm sorry. But I know that's like wishful thinking on my part that I didn't offend anyone, but I'm just a silly, goofy girl, you guys. Like, you know, don't take me too seriously. But if you made it to the end of the video, you are a real one. You are that girl. And now you will never look at your self-care routine the same ever again. And if you do all of these things on this list already, give yourself a nice big pat on the back because you're a queen and you deserve the world on a silver platter. Blessings and greatness to you always. I hope y'all like this one. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye.